Okay, thank you for joining the Primavera P6 Excel lesson and course introduction. This is the Primavera P6 Excel course introduction and one part of the course. During this course, we going to discuss about some P6 and Excel mixed combination of these two software together. As a result of this combination of two software, you will do the job more efficient and you can do it with high level of accuracy. During this session, we talk about some features of the P6 and combination of these features with Excel. All the items will be discussed and we go through each detail of the software for P6 and Excel based on this outline. We have three categories for this course. The first one is import data and project services. Then we go to the tracking, updating, and monitoring. And after that, we go through the analyzing and reporting.
Okay, get ready.
We know that during the initiation stage of the project, we face it with many data to implement the data on the software, and after that we need to create a project and a schedule on the software. In this initiation stage, we face it with several problems due to data implementation on the P6. So we go through the import data and project services. This part of course focus on this data implementation. At the beginning, we start by the import activity to the project. Then I present you two solutions for easy WBS creation. One of them focus on combination of Microsoft Project and P6, and second one is only focus on P6. At this stage, you don't need to combine the WBS with activity because you created the activity before, and this stage only focus on WBS creation and optimization. Then, if you bring your project from Microsoft Project, then you have some problem with your activity ID. We go through the update activity ID on the project. You know that some fields in a P6 cannot be updated directly. We have two kinds of fields in the Primavera P6, compulsory field and optional field. For the compulsory field, you cannot update it directly, but indirectly you can update the field. So activity ID in the activity sheet is compulsory field, so you cannot update it. After you create the activity, it is fixed and you only can delete or create it. Modification for activity ID is not possible. Then we go through the import budgeting unit. Even if you have only one budgeted unit or multiple resource loaded project, for both of them, this solution is applicable and you can import the budgeted unit for the project. Then we go through the import relationship. We talk about best practice based on the experience, but for import relationship, P6 can help you to do it by combination of P6 and Excel. It is related to combination of P6 and Excel. It is very good solution and you can use it. Then after this section, we need to talk about import cost account. This is the first stage of tracking, updating, and monitoring. Then we will go through the update activity sheet. When you open the P6, if you want to update the task in the project, how you can start to update the task. If you want to start to update the task, first you select the task, then go to the status and record the start. So over here in the P6-Excel, you should go to the update project progress in activity sheet because the sequence is important and you should follow the sequence based on the software requirement. That is why we start from activity sheet. Some consideration is available for update the task on activity sheet. We will talk about every detail, and then after activity sheet, we go through the update by resource sheet. Why? Think about your project is multiple resource loaded. So in this project, excavation includes 4 resources. If you update the task by activity % complete over here, then all the resources updated based on your progress. But maybe each of resources has a special unit % complete. So you should update the multiple resource loaded project by using unit % complete instead of activity % complete. If you calculated activity % complete before, both of them in a calculation will be same. But if you didn't calculate it, you need to update the resource items for unit % complete. Then according to the software calculation, you can get the result over here. So the sequence for update is very important, and that is why first we start for update in an activity sheet, then we go through the resource sheet. After each update, we need to check the project for some update section. For instance, if this project is updated project, if I schedule it, then look at the view log. Over here, I have some out of sequence activities. If you work in big project, you have the list of out of sequence activities. You cannot find a project without out of sequence activity, but if you have some justification for out of sequence, you can keep it. But every scheduler tries to remove all of out of sequence. Do not try to remove all of the out of sequence tasks because some of them need to be kept. For instance, if you need some permission from your client side, then you should send the out of sequence task to your update. Because if you remove the out of sequence, your client cannot distinguish that you did this task by out of sequence. So for out of sequence task, you can use the P6-Excel and update the relationship by using P6-Excel. You can create the list of task on Excel. You only need to copy this and then paste it on the Excel sheet. Over here, you have the list of tasks. Let me to open it again. You have the list of out of sequence over here, and you can track it for the project. If you go to the project, on the file menu, export the data from a spreadsheet. On the activity relationship, this information is enough. You can track what happened to your task. You have the list of activity ID over here. And if you use the filter in a successor, then you have the predecessor over here. If you need to change the relationship type based on the P6 rule, you can update the fields. But be careful, if the field is mentioned as a compulsory field, you cannot update it directly. You should follow the P6 rule in order to update the compulsory field. So you have the list of tasks, you have the list of relationships. You should follow the P6 rule in order to update the P6 relationship and maybe update some of out of sequence tasks. But before you update it, you need to track it on the project and find that this out of sequence task should be kept or should be removed. What is the project requirement right now? You should follow it based on project requirement, and you should justify it before update it. The next item on the tracking, updating, and monitoring section is focused on update the baseline for the project. At the beginning of the project, or maybe during the project life cycle, you face it with some changes on the baseline. The baseline should be kept most of the time, but some of the time maybe you want to add some scope to your baseline. This happening because of your contract is updated, some scope added to your contract. So the duration and relationship should be updated. If you want to update it, you need to go to the project. On the maintain baseline, you should select the baseline project, then go to the update, and based on this requirement, you need to go to the update option and select these two items. But this function does not work on the P6-SQL Lite. It is properly work on the full Oracle database and SQL full database. So if you want to try it, please be careful because you should well know about these requirements before update. Then you only need to press the update. Everything going to be updated for relationship and duration. The next item, on the next item, we will discuss on the resource limit. What is the resource limit and how you can change it? If you come back to the project curve, you have the limit of resource over here. How you can calculate it? Why the resource limit for some of the months are different? What is the requirement for this resource limit? Why, if I change the resource, some of them, the resource limit does not change, some of them, the resource limit is changed? What's happening? We will discuss for every detail, and after that, we go through the leveling the resources. We make an instance for the project with 1 resources. Then we consider several options for update the resources and leveling. During this item, give me a moment. Give me a moment, please. Sorry for this connection. We talk about the leveling the resources. On the leveling the resources, we will submit you some backup file. And as a result of this backup file, you can do it again and again. And this backup file will explain you what happened during the leveling the resources. When you should add a constraint to your project, when you need to change the activity relationship, and when you need to change the resource. What is the effect of this item to your project? When you should, for instance, when you should add a constraint, if you want to keep the critical path, you cannot. If you add hard constraint, you cannot keep the critical path. What is the effect of this item to your project? We will discuss about all the things like this during this session. Then we go to the compare the activity calendar with resource calendar. We have several activity types in Primavera P6. All of the planner and scheduler familiar with task dependent and resource dependent. But how these two kinds of activity works? When we use resource dependent and when we should use the task dependent, what is the difference between these two activity types? If you follow the task dependent for all of the activity, does it correct or not? For instance, if you have the heavy crane at your project and you need this resource to be well performed in order to keep the critical path, if this activity does not perform well and you face it with delay, what is the effect of this delay on the project? If you select the task dependent for this activity, what happened to your project and how you can update it? If you select the resource dependent, what requirements should we consider? This is the effect of calendar on the activity and the resources. Then after this item, we talk about S-curve creation by the report functionality and going to add some activity code to this S-curve. After each session, you will receive the video file, include some backup file. Backup file is related to our discussion during the session. For instance, this is the easiest curve we will create based on the P6 information. But what is the difference between this curve and others? It's easy update. You only need to run the report and then you can find the updated curve over here. Then we go through the one global change for remove the actual from the project. How you can remove the actual from updated project. If you have the project with 100 activities only, you should take a time to remove the update from this project. Maybe you need to take too much time if you have the project include 1,000 activities. But by some global change, you can do it easily, less than 10 minutes. After that, we talk about track relationship changes. When you receive the schedule from your subcontractor, you need to verify it. If your subcontractor made some change on the schedule before send it to you, how you can distinct that? If your subcontractor going to be update some critical relationship at your schedule, how you can find it? We will discuss it and I will show you how you can find it. Then the next section, go to the EVM calculation, create a recovery schedule curve, and how to create lag reports. For instance, if we want to show to you the backup file for recovery curve, you can find it over here. And this is the recovery curve. If you work on this area, it means that you are ahead of schedule. If you work on this area, it means that you are going to be used the float, project float. But if you work on this area, it means that you are behind of a schedule. We will discuss about each of these details and we talk about what is the effect of this update on your project. Then we go through the EVM earned value calculation on the Primavera P6. By the earned value calculation, you can find it what happened to your project. First of all, I submit the backup file to the course participant, and then we will perform the meeting. So before each session, maybe you receive some backup file, or after the session, include the videos recorded, you will receive the backup file. But what is the effect of performance factor to your schedule? If you have the schedule with same progress in the same WBS, if you change performance factor, what is the effect of this change on your schedule? We will discuss it, and you can estimate it. You can create several estimations based on the project situation by the performance factor. It is very important factor on the project. Then we go through the update the activity code in the project. When you update and implement the activity code in your project, it means that you want to update the project and you want to add something to your project. When you want to add something to your project, it means that you want to add something for report. Activity code is very helpful item for reorganizing the project and also for the report creation. By this activity code, my friend, could you please mute your microphone? By using activity code, you can create interactive report and you can update this interactive report less than 10 minutes. This report created by P6 information directly, and we did not use any formula in this report. Only we gathering the information from the P6, and after collecting information from the P6, by using pivot, you can create this interactive dashboard. For instance, if you want to focus on procurement information, if you press the procurement activity code, then all the data filter based on your requirement. For instance, you want to know that what is happening on the electrical section. Then all the data updated based on electrical section. If you want to know that what happened to the electrical and machinery, both of them, you need to select both of them together. If you want to add another discipline also, you can add another discipline. Then all the data updated based on your filtration and your requirement. Because the data monitoring is much more easier in comparison in a dashboard in comparison with other tools, then the dashboard is highly requested and highly demanded by the manager side. So if you can update and create the dashboard easily after each weekly update or after each monthly update, or maybe daily update, it is based on your project condition. Then you can monitor every detail and monitoring the progress for budgeting hours, for the cost, for man hours, for free float, for a scheduled percent complete, for a scheduled performance index, for cost performance index in the progress side or in a timeline side. All the data could be filtered and you can use the filtration for all data based on your requirement. And when you create the dashboard, you can track the delay, and as a result of tracking, you can avoid any further delay to your project. If you are interested to join this course, you should know that we are going to use at least this formula during this course. You should familiar with these items. If you need some more data, ping me over WhatsApp or Telegram. I will send you the share link for this formula. Then you can study before you want to join to the course. It is minimum requirement for this course. You should familiar with Microsoft project. Good knowledge for Primavera P6 is required, and good Excel knowledge, at least for these items, is required. But if you want to join to the course, how it works? This is the exercise file. After you join to the course, you will receive a copy of this exercise file. By this exercise file, you can create your project. Let me to close some extra information. By this exercise file, you can create the project. This exercise file includes 4 projects: project first, second, third, and fourth. The project first is only include less than 13 activities. It is easy project and you can create it in a less than 10 minutes by P6 frame. But we create this in order to create it by P6-Excel. Now it is a little bit more complex because you need to use the tools in order to create it. At the beginning stage, maybe it is a little bit complex, but if you practice a little bit, then you can find it is much more easier than what you think. Excel and P6 join very well to each other. So you have all data. It is necessary to create a project by this table. You have the list of activity ID, list of WBS ID, list of activity, some data, height, original duration, predecessor activity, activity type, duration type, percent complete type, activity code, and other information which are necessary for project creation. On the below of each table, you have some assumption and some assignment. If you want to create the project, you should follow the assumption. Then after create each section, you should do the assignment. The assignment is not hard, but it is good practice. The next section for the project focus on resource development and resource assignment by using P6-Excel. Talking about activity step templating and then assignment part 2. If you scroll to the right, you can find the assignment section 3. It is focused on project updating. The assumption is only give you the data date. All the data is available over here. You only need to follow the information and then you can do the assignment. Project second is like the first project, only include 2 resources, but the third project includes more than 3 resources. 2 resources are labor, one of them non-labor, and 1 material. And this is multiple resource loaded project. You have the activity percent complete, resource percent complete, and actual and baseline in order to create the project, update it, and calculate the total progress of the project. We will discuss about each of these items during the project. During the course. So if you join to the course, for each section, you have some assignments to do for practice. And what is the timing for the course? We have 2 timings for this course. The first timing is started on the tomorrow. It's for weekend timing, include 4 sessions only, each session 3 hours, and it takes 2 weeks to be completed. This is the first timing. The next timing is a daily base and 3 days for the course, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then a day for off for practice time, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. After that, 1 day off, and the workshop will be held on the 23rd of November. This is the 2 timing for the course, and the course started on the 7:30 p.m. in Istanbul time. If you need to know that what is the course timing on your local time, you can convert it or ping me. I will tell you based on your location. This is the all information for this course. If anyone have a question, please open your microphone and ask your question. If you don't have any question, I can start the second part of this meeting. Go to the tracking relationship changes.
Good evening, Mr. Ahmad.
Good
Thanks,
evening.
thanks a lot for the presentation, and God bless. If any
You're
doubt, I will
welcome.
come back to you.
Mhm.
Have a nice evening.
You too, you too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Inshallah.
Okay. Let's need to start the track relationship changes. Think about you receive this update from your subcontractor. You want to know that what is happening for this update. They send you the list of change, but when you look at the end data project, you can find that something happened in this project. Most of the time, we have some update on the relationship and on the lag item. But as you know that the lag is not appear in the column. You cannot find the lag in the column. How you can find what's happening on the project for this item? If you want to compare the lag individually, you need to go to the report section and create a report by using activity relationship. Then you can proceed, and in the column, you can find that lag, driving, relationship type, critical, free float, and project cycle. If you add the project predecessor ID and name, successor ID and name, then apply it and remove all the group and sort. No filtration required over here, and you run it. Then you have the list of tasks. If I filter it over here and freeze it over here, you have the list of tasks. If you want to find that how many lags are available in the project, you need to only filter it for activity with lag, then all of them are driving, and which one of them are critical. I have 3 activities with a start-to-start relationship include the lag. If I only remove the lag from this project, for 100%, I can update the project duration. And if I reschedule the project, I can find that the new finish date for this project. But this information will be easy when you extract the information from the P6 and you can analyze it in the Excel. because if you want to looking for this information in the P6, you cannot easily find the lag and you cannot compare it with other project information, even if your project is a baseline. It is not applicable for compare this kind of information with baseline project. But look at this. I received this updated file from the subcontractor. Let me to first remove the create a new folder over here. Then for compare this project in a relationship with other available projects, in a relationship, you need to go to the file, export the file for the spreadsheet in an activity relationship. Then you need to export the file, and over here, these fields are required. You need to know that what is the predecessor, what is the successor, relationship type, predecessor activity status, successor activity status, successor WBS, predecessor WBS, and lag. This information help you to analyze your current project with previous one. Then you need to proceed and save this file over here. Let me to call it updated project. Then save it. Then I need to go to the assign baseline and find that it is connected to the baseline number 1. Then I need to release the baseline and restore it. It's a little bit take a time. Okay, perfect. Then close it and find the file. This is my extracted baseline. Then I open it. After this project is open, this is the baseline project. As you see, we don't have any record or update for this project. So again, we need to go to the file and export by a spreadsheet for activity relationship. And without any change over here, you need to extract the information only. And let me to call it baseline. Then minimize the information, go to the file. This is the baseline. And the next one is updated project. The first action is change the lag from text to the number. For both of these fields, you need to do it. Then, on the right side, we have the updated project. On the left side, we have the baseline. For each of these items, you need to add 2 columns. 2 columns. Right now, I want to use the formula. It's equal to concatenate, or you can use the AND. If I combine predecessor and successor for this item, it means that I want to track the relationship, available relationship between updated project and baseline project. I copy this, paste it over here, because the sort of column are the same, then you can find it. The formula is worked for the second one. Then we want to compare the updated project to the baseline. So if I write a VLOOKUP for this item, then I can find that how many tasks will be changed for the relationship, connection between predecessor to the successor. Let me to create another Excel sheet. The yellow color, it means that relationship change. I mark the predecessor, successor for this item. Select the visible and mark it. Then we go through the next item. What is the next one? First, I release the filtration, add 2 more items. Then over here, I need to write another condition. The condition of is concatenate of predecessor, successor, and relationship type. I combine these 3 items together for the updated project. Then I'm going to baseline, insert 2 more columns, find it, copy this, and paste it. Then copy this item and paste it. This is the same condition from here to here. please contact me over WhatsApp or Telegram. Then over here, you have two same formula. You only need to again use the VLOOKUP. It's going to be easy. Compare this item by this condition. Then again, use the filtration. And you have some discrepancies. The discrepancy is going to be extended. Let me to add this field also by select the visible. We have 14 changes over here by the blue color. I have 3 changes for the relationship, and for the blue color, it means that relationship plus relationship type. Both of items is going to be changed. Then I'm going to add another condition. I want to know that what is happening on the project for the relationship. Let me to add concatenate for the relationship as a predecessor combination with successor plus relationship type plus or lack. These 4 items focus on all the data. Then you need to only copy this item and paste it over here. Copy this, go to the end one and paste the data. Again, I need to write an easy VLOOKUP. Then I have the list of tasks with discrepancy in comparison with the baseline. We are not looking for the result is the same, so our subcontractor does not change any lag. So, oh no, we have 2 more. Pardon. So in this case, we have 2 more items. The third condition is focus on relationship plus relationship type plus lack. We have 2 new items over here. $11 items over here and 3 items over here. Right now, we have the log of change for the relationship in this project. Also, you can compare these 2 projects for the activity movement. How you can compare it by add a condition, include the WBS. Already we extracted the data over here. We extracted the data over here. So it is going to be easier than the P6 tool because it's combined with Excel. In less than 20 minutes, we can find that what is the log of change in comparison with baseline for this project. This is the log of change for the relationship. Also, if you want to know that what is the activity task and activity movement between the WBS, you can easily find that. Some of the times it is very important to know that. This is all for today. I hope this session is useful for you, and thank you for your attending and give me your time. My friend, if you need to join to the course, you need to register to our website. You can find all course condition over here. Then you need to go to the registration and press the registration. If you want to take this course, you need to register it. Then you need to fulfill all this information. And after that, we will contact you over WhatsApp and add you to the course group. Thank you for your attending. I hope you have a great time and hope to see you on the course. Have a great time. Bye.
I hope this lesson is useful for you. Please keep in touch with my LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for further lesson. Also, you can visit my website www.globalprojectcontrol.com in order to find all of my lesson and courses in the same time. Thank you for your subscription at my YouTube channel.